While drawing your attention to these references, I just want to tell you how accurate these descriptions are. Because there is another thing we say कि रामायण और महाभारत mythology है. They are not इतिहास. इतिहास की तो हम बात ही नहीं करते हैं, हम हिस्ट्री पे चिपके हुए हैं. So we say it's not history, it's a mythology. But if you see it very minutely, you will find whoever was writing, I'm not going in the details when it was written, who has written, for what purpose, whoever has written Mahabharata, the person has a very deep knowledge of the reason. There is another thing when we archaeologists talk about Northeast India, we say कि Northeast का तो इतिहास ही नहीं है, वहाँ पेलोलिथिक टूल्स नहीं मिलते हैं, वहाँ पे मिडिल पेलोलिथिक नहीं है, अपर पेलोलिथिक नहीं है, माइक्रोलिथ्स नहीं मिलते हैं, सीधे सीधे नियोलिथिक आ जाता है. अगेन वही चीज़ कि हमको एक क्रोनोलॉजी पढ़ा दी गई है एंड वी हैव टू फॉलो इट. द रीज़न विच हैज़ सो मच abundance of wood and wood and bamboos, why they will make a hand axe? If you just apply your common sense, if I have to kill an animal, I'll make a hand axe or a stone tool and will go so close to him and kill it when I have got a 20 feet long bamboo. And we know in China and other parts, we have got tools of Paleolithic period which are made of wood and bamboos. So since we did not get it, we simply believe that during that period nobody was living in this region. Whereas if you see the biodiversity, the variety of grains what you find there, which leaves no doubt that that would have been the area from where cultivation must have started. And if you want to find earliest evidence of agriculture, the region is only the northeast region of India. In northeastern region, not much archaeological evidences have been found. There are not many multicultural sites which have been excavated, and therefore we have decided कि इस रीजन में तो कुछ नहीं था, ये लोग जंगली थे, जंगल था, कुछ नहीं था. But if you see the history and archaeology, you will find that the region has a very long history. I just want to draw your attention to one evidence which has been found in the western part at Chanhudaro, a Harappan site. A bead is found, and when it was scientifically studied, it was found it was having a remains of a thread, and that thread was made of silk, the silk which is produced in Northeast India. Unfortunately, between this part and that part, we do not have a regular, a trail of evidence so we can say how it was happening. But I strongly believe that this eastern part of the country had very regular cultural contacts with rest of the country, not from now, right even from the Harappan period. I would request all of you to just have a look of the jewelry which is worn by Nagas. The long barrel-shaped carnelian beads of Harappan period. And you just see the necklaces of Naga women. If you put them together, no archaeologist of any eminence can differentiate that it's not an Harappan bead. They have so much similarity. How come these beads have suddenly landed in the Nagas in that area? But we have to work a lot before we establish these linkages on the basis of material evidences. We all are very curious about horses, whether it is in Harappan period or even in Ramayana and Mahabharata. And we know the Mongols came on horseback from Central Asia. We know the history of Assam. Ahoms, they came from China. 600 Ahoms came on horseback, and then they captured the Brahmaputra Valley and ruled the region for 600 years. So that region was having horses, and these horses were coming from neighboring region. Even today, all tribes in Northeast, they use dao, these edged weapon, and it is so sharp and effective that Mughal armies could not enter there. They were not having firearms, they were not having any sophisticated arms, they were holding only this dao. Even today, every person who goes out, he goes with a dao. And everybody has it. I have one with me. So these daos are so effective. So the object means this materials which are being mentioned, the person which are being mentioned, the description is so accurate that you don't find any mythology in there. So simply saying कि इसमें date नहीं है, ये नहीं है, ये mythology हो गया. Because we are not analyzing. Of course, there are certain description, even which I question, may not be correct. If you analyze these small descriptions mentioned in हमारे ग्रंथ, you will find many facts which are not coming only on political history. Who was ruling where, what was the extent of their kingdom, and how many queens and how many sons. That's one part of the history, the political history. But if you study these materials and the incidents which are written there, and those who are living in that area, if you try to relate, I find, particularly for Northeast region, because I lived there for 12 years, and I have experienced them, I find that the description is so accurate, and it puts Pragjyotish as one of the very mighty, powerful, prosperous, and politically also very well connected with the authority or center in the country. And the kind of connections which they are having are totally convincing to me as an archaeologist. And I'm sure if we explore on those lines, we will be able to fill the gaps and rewrite our itihas.